Hello, everybody, and welcome to Drink Talk Rock, episode 6, if I'm not mistaken. First of all, I want to thank anyone who's tuning in for tuning in. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so let me just give you a little bit of an overview before we get started. So maybe you can see if these are some subjects that you have some interest in. So here's what we're going to talk about today. So last week I discussed the feud going on between Ace Frehley and Gene Simmons. There's a lot of comments that have been going back and forth regarding the End of the Road tour that Kiss is doing. And so today we're going to talk about Gene's response to Ace Frehley. Now, we're only going to do that a little bit briefly. We have a lot more to talk about today. We lost a music legend the other day. Mr. Peter Tork of the Monkees has passed away. So we want to talk about that a little bit. And I'm going to tribute them in a little bit in informing you a little bit more about the Monkees. So I've got a few facts that maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know. But don't go anywhere. And we also have something to talk about in regards to the Oscars. Now, I did not watch the Oscars, but I think it bears in mind that we must speak about Queen performing at the intro of it. I have watched the performance, and I'm going to tell you all about my thoughts about it anywhere. And don't go anywhere because we have a special giveaway that we are going to be, I'm going to be explaining to you how to get this giveaway. I'm going to be giving away free Drink Talk Rock keychains in commemoration of this show continuing to go on. So don't go anywhere because at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you step by step how you can get your very own Drink Talk Rock keychain. That's a little piece of merchandise in case one day we might be famous and you might want something to remember us by. So anyways, with all that said, I want to thank you again for tuning in to Drink Talk Rock, the show where we talk about rock music and we drink while we do it. So without further ado, I've got myself some Miller Lite today, and I've got my handy dandy mug over here. So we are going to pour. I still have not learned how to pour beer, but I have learned how to drink a beer. So while that's going on, I want to know how you guys doing? How was your weekend? Anything exciting happen? Anything crazy? Any new songs you guys heard that you really, really liked? Let me tell you a little bit about my weekend. We had the pleasure to play at Milo and Jack's the other night. This pretty cool coffee shop / drink joint. Run by some really good people in Willow Springs, and we got to play there, and it was fantastic. Everybody was up around and dancing and having a good time, and made us feel all warm and welcome inside, and we made a little bit of money too, so that's always good. How was you guys' weekend? Go ahead and tell me right now in the comments below how you guys' weekend was. You got anything going on? So I'm going to get to those comments at the end, but I think we have a lot to get to today. So let me take a little slug of chug. Oh yeah, that was a 3-gulper right there. So, as I said before, last week I talked a little bit about Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley and the feud that they've had going on for a couple decades now. I want to put a little, I don't know if it's a disclaimer or if it's a drawback. Usually when I say something, I mean it and I stick with it. And that's kind of where I am with it. But I was watching the podcast from last week a little bit, and I watched myself to see how I'm doing and to see if I can make improvements on the show, or when I'm wrong about something, I like to look back and see that I was wrong about it and find out what you guys think. So last week I was pretty rough on Gene Simmons. Now, I don't want to say that was without warrant, because I think everyone that has ever watched Gene Simmons in an interview knows that he's the squeakiest wheel of the band. He's the one that's going to tell you exactly how it is, and that can kind of irritate people sometimes, and I think that a lot of that was fueling where I was coming from. So, I don't want to spend all day on this, but I do want to say I do apologize for my comments about Gene Simmons in the sense that I respect him as a musician. I respect him as a master brander of Kiss, and I respect him for all of the joy that he has brought thousands of people with his music. So, although I have certain feelings about maybe how he comes across, I'm sure people have feelings about how I come across to them. So, with that being said, I just want to, like I said, offer a slight apology to Gene Simmons and Gene Simmons fans and that I don't think that I gave him a fair shake in the argument. And the comment that he gave back to Ace Frehley will confirm that a little bit, as far as he could have taken the road to slash or to lash out at Ace Frehley, and he said this, and this is a direct quote. So, it says, "I'm not going to say anything in print other than I love Ace and Peter," referring to Ace Frehley and Peter Criss, the lead guitarist and the drummer of Kiss formerly. And I thank them forever. They're every bit as important as Paul and myself for launching the band, and I'm not going to make any guesses of why the emotions are so volatile. But it's happened before. Now, I don't know exactly what that's a reference to, and frankly, I'm quite tired of kind of trying to speculate on things that I obviously do not know, was not around for. These are decades and decades of built up, probably a lot of repression in there, a lot of passive aggressiveness, you having to work with bands and stuff like that. But the main point of it all is that there's 16 sides to every story, and I don't know the true one, and neither do you. You don't live with the band. I don't live with the band. I didn't see all the unwinding of Ace Frehley in his alcoholic days. So we can't speculate on it. It's just what we can say. And I also wanted to add a little bit of respect to the band, because I was a little bit disrespectful last week when I chose not to say the name of the drummer that replaced Peter Criss in the band. So I would like to at least show a little bit of respect to Kiss by saying that Eric Singer is the new drummer of Kiss, and he's been with them for many years, as well as Tommy Thayer, who took Ace Frehley's position in the band, and he's also played with them for many years and has helped to build this Kiss franchise for many, many years when things just weren't going the right way. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm going to stop it right there, and we're going to move on to the next thing, because, when friends fight, you just never know. You just don't know. You don't know what's really going on. Everybody's going to say their part of it. So let's just cut it right there. If we hear any great breaking, developing news about it, then we will address it at that point in time. But I want to move on to this next piece of news because it's tragic and terrible when we lose people that were heroes to a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And I want to pay a little bit of respect to the late Peter Tork of the Monkees. He passed away at 77 years old. And that's pretty up there, and it seems like he had a really full life, but I think we're all still sad when we lose our heroes and we lose people that we used to, even if they're not heroes, maybe people we used to watch on TV, people who were a giant part of us growing up, or anyone who's part of our childhood. When they pass away, we feel a certain something. So I wanted to, I don't know if commemorate is the right word, but I did want to pay respect to Peter Tork and all of the Monkees. As you probably know, we lost Davy Jones many years ago, and Peter Tork unfortunately has passed away recently as well. But there's a lot of things that people don't know about the Monkees, and maybe why they came to be, what they were put on TV for, what it turned into afterwards. And I'm not going to give you the whole biography of it, but I do have a few facts here that I did a little bit of research, and I found a few facts about the Monkees that maybe people know, maybe people don't know. So the first thing that I want to say, and the first question that, or not the first question, the first fact that I want to lay out kind of leads into another fact that I have. So the first fact about the Monkees is that the first Monkees album consisted mostly of performances by studio musicians due to the amount of filming time required for the Monkees. Now, this is a very important piece of information, because this little snippet of information is what led to a lot of the ridicule that the Monkees got in the events of people saying that they did not play their own instruments, that they did not know what they were doing. And now, granted, this was before any kind of a live performance was going on. This was simply a TV show. A little snippet fact, the Monkees were made as kind of a, I don't want to say like a parody of it. It was more like they were taking the Beatles and they wanted to make it satirical. They wanted to make it funny, and they wanted to put it on TV. And honestly, the producers of that show really wanted to exploit the Beatlemania that was going on at the time. Now, granted, this was a few years after it had really hit, but that's what they're basically referencing. When you look at the Monkees, they're referencing the Beatles. The Fab Four, they've kind of got their own thing going on. And then they wanted to put it into kind of a Brady Bunch kind of scenario where they would put it together. Way before my time, but it has definitely lived out as timeless. And I think that even decades from now, people will still be watching it. So the second fact that I want to get to is kind of what the first fact leads into, is that the little known fact was that all members played their own instruments. Now that may kind of sound like the first fact, but they all did. Eventually they had to tour. They had to go in front of 15,000 people, and they had to play their instruments. Now, I will say they didn't learn their instruments. Not all of them. Not all of them learned their instruments in order to do these stadium shows. A lot of them came in with a little bit of experience, and they always kind of had a musical background with them. So that helped with the transition into the TV show where they were kind of playing a band. But like I said, because the first album had studio musicians on it, a lot of people didn't really realize that the Monkees were actually a band that could actually play music. So that's kind of a strange fun fact as to where that ridicule lies. Now, I kind of mentioned this before, but they were hired as actors to mimic the Beatles and bring a satirical aspect that translated to television. So I kind of already told you that one, but that was basically the thing, is that it was supposed to be a mirroring of the Beatles and of the Beatles' success, but with more laughs and kind of being silly about it. In some ways it was making fun of it, and in some ways not. But I think that we can all show respect that at one time or another, we've probably all seen the Monkees at some point. They've probably... I know everyone's heard the song "I'm a Believer." That's a big one. "Daydream Believer." I guess believing was just kind of their thing. So hey, nothing wrong with that. I like to believe as well. And of course, the theme song "Hey Hey We're the Monkees." I mean, if you can't think of any Monkees song, you got to think of "Hey Hey We're the Monkees." My snap was completely off, but you understand what I'm saying. They are fun. They were a fun band, and they had a lot of fun doing what they did. A little fact that I'm going to add onto this that I didn't write down in my notes, but I did read something about it, was that while on set, the Monkees had a black box, a giant black box, in which they could kind of, when they weren't shooting, they could kind of talk and be rambunctious and wouldn't get caught on camera and could have their privacy. So who knows what was going on in the Monkees box? But my guess is if they had to make a big cutaway box away from everything else, maybe some things that they didn't want to come to light could have been going on there. So I don't know. That's speculation. I have no idea. I think it's kind of funny, kind of strange that they had like their own kind of cubicle on the set of the Monkees. But I want to just go ahead and admit, in case anybody wants to comment below and go, well, you just looked up a bunch of stuff and you wanted to say this and say that and say this. Well, yes, I did. But I try to pay respect to musicians whenever they pass away. But the Monkees, I don't know how to say it. The Monkees was a show that I used to watch. So it's not just something I'm pulling out of left field here. But yeah, I learned a lot of stuff about the Monkees today too, and hopefully you have too. So God rest Peter Tork's soul, and thank God that he put him here to bring us so much joy and bring us so many laughs on the show. I just want to give a shout out to the members of the Monkees. Davy Jones, who has passed away, was the singer of the band, and sorry, got my phone going off there. Davy Jones was the singer of the band. Mickey Dolenz played the drums, which interesting thing about Mickey Dolenz is that he did not originally play the drum set. It was actually kind of a battle between him and Peter Tork as to who would be playing the drums. They both came in with strings experience and with guitar experience, but none of them came in with any drumming experience. But gladly, Mickey Dolenz was able to pick up the drums before they had their giant tour. And he was Now, Mike Nesmith played the guitar, and he put a little funny quote in because a lot of people had doubts that the Monkees could play their instruments. So this is his quote before he goes out on stage. "I'm fixing to walk out there in front of 15,000 people, man. If I don't play my own instruments, I'm in a lot of trouble." And I just think that's so funny. I think that's pretty hilarious that even as you're about to go out on stage, some interviewer or reporter had been talking to him going, "Hey, man, you do know what you're doing, right?" And he was like, "Bro, I'm about to walk out. If I don't, I'm going to get fired." So it's kind of funny that even off script and off the stage, that watch any interview with the Monkees. They're hilarious. They're just funny guys. So thank you, Peter Tork, for all that you've given us, and thank you, Davy Jones, for all the joy that you've given us. And you other two, keep hanging on there. We want to see some kind of a Monkees reunion at some point. So we definitely want to see that. So moving on from that, I think I need another drink. Oh, a drink, not a choke. Sorry about that. Thing about adding liquids in with your podcast, you never know how they're going to go down. As you can see, oh, that one gagged me up a little bit. Oh, goodness. Stick to water, John. Okay, so moving on. The next piece of news that I want to talk to is in reference to a comment that I had made last week when I was referring to nostalgia bands or bands that are still rocking, but not necessarily, maybe they haven't made any new music in comparison to other bands who have made new music. Ooh, that Miller again. Tell you what, I need a better job so I can afford some better beer. Not hating on Miller. Gets me through a lot of hard and sad and sometimes sexy times. But anyways, from last week, I was talking about how Guns N' Roses was on tour, but that I kind of had a problem with them because they have not come out with any new music. I love that they're back together. I love that they're getting along. I love all those things. I think we all do. But the biggest complaint that I had was that they didn't have any new music. Well, breaking news. Apparently, there's some new freaking Guns N' Roses music that we're going to have in our ears, hopefully within the next decade. I want to read a quote from Duff McKagan. If you don't know, the bass player of Guns N' Roses, long time, one of the best bass players of all time, and one of my favorite people of all time. The news says that he reveals that new music rumors are real, and that Axl Rose has some, quote, really cool stuff on the horizon. So that's awesome. I think a lot of us were worried that this was just a nostalgia act and that maybe they were just trying to cash in checks. That is absolutely not true, according to this. Now, the downside of the news is that there's nothing really definitive on the end of it to say that it's going to happen next year. You know, us in the 21st century, us millennials, we want things now, okay? We want you to shoot out an album and then shoot out another album and then another one and then another one, because it's like Netflix. They come out and we binge them and then they're gone and we want another one, which I get all that. That's totally fine. But at least we have a little something to hold on to here, in that anyone hoping for new GNR material will not be disappointed, whether that's within the year, 10 years, who knows. I have to say that I am excited and worried at the same time. Not worried about the quality. I know that Axl Rose is going to produce something amazing. Even when he was by himself, I loved Chinese Democracy, and I think that you kind of have to not really be paying attention to the music to know that Chinese Democracy was a really well-produced album, although it took an industrial metal kind of take to Guns N' Roses. If you haven't seen that, after this video, check that out. Definitely some cool stuff going on there. So I'm excited that there's going to be new music. I am just worried that it's going to take so long, and like I said, my instant gratified brain would really just like to have some music now. So but yeah, so tell me what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you think about new Guns N' Roses music, maybe some things you'd like to see. Would you like more of an industrial metal kind of take with Slash involved in the project as opposed to Chinese Democracy, which Slash was not entirely involved in? So yeah, just let me know what you think about that there. That's something us Southern people say. If anybody that doesn't know me is watching this, I am from the South, and we say that there. We say witchy ditchy and a lot of other words too. But I've got some more rock news. Today's kind of like a news day. I was just scrolling through and I saw thing after thing after thing of things going on. Apparently the Oscars happened. I never watched the Oscars. I did not know that they happened, but they happened, and I did not watch them. But I did hear about a phenomenal opening performance by Queen featuring Adam Lambert. You know what? Not featuring Adam Lambert. Adam Lambert has done insanely well to take over for Freddie Mercury. He's got a great voice. He's got a lot of talent. I mean, if you saw him on American Idol, he did have a solo album, which he did certain things on that. And I've always loved Adam Lambert in Queen. So we have got to talk about this opening performance at the Oscars. Okay, like I said, I didn't watch the Oscars. I just heard about I heard about Queen opening it. There was like not really a host or nothing like that, and the Queen just started rocking out. So I click on it. What do I find? Adam Lambert. The curtain goes up. He's rocking out to "We Will Rock You." The drums are going. He's got this really different take on the song as far as the vocal goes. It was phenomenal. But most people know that "We Will Rock You" is like the peanut butter, and "We Are the Champions" is like the jelly. And without sounding too sexual, Adam gave us the jelly. So there's that. He gave us the jelly. Okay. Yeah, he did a medley of the two. You barely hear one song without the other one. And I thought the vocal on it was amazing. He really did a fantastic job. Of course, he's been touring with these guys for almost a decade. Actually, over a decade. I think it's over a decade. I think it's like 10 or 12 years he's been going with Queen, and he's done a phenomenal job, even with the haters or the lovers or whoever it may be. But he did a great job. It was awesome. Everybody in the crowd was up and clapping, and I think I saw Derek Jeter rocking out, which, I mean, I don't mean to be music biased on what I think that he probably listens to a lot of the time, but I didn't think it was Queen, and he looked like he was having the time of his life. Go back and check that out. And watch that. So that's pretty cool. I loved it. I loved seeing what was going on. It was one of my favorite performances I've seen. It recovered from a train wreck, no pun intended, performance that I saw by Slash and Miles Kennedy of Crazy Train. I was losing hope for live rock acts at award shows. So that was really cool to see. It was kind of nostalgic. They put Freddie Mercury's picture in the back, and so that's pretty cool. I've got a little bit more to talk about, but I want to get to the comments. Jake Taylor says, is it a whole album of new music for GNR, or is it just going to be like a few singles and some previously unreleased stuff or remastered? Well, that's the take that they've gone with it so far for the last album. Obviously, it had Shadow of Your Love on it, Nice Boys, Rocker, some Hollywood Rose tracks that were kind of put in there to sell as a new album. And that was kind of what got me a little bit infuriated. I was like, Jesus, we've been waiting so long, and this is what you release. But I think that this little piece of information that Duff McKagan put out at least gives us a little bit of hope for some new music. So I'm really excited to see that and to hear that and to see how much of that stuff they're going to bring out on the road. So assuming that they keep touring. So you have stayed here this long. We got 4 people watching. Awesome. I want to thank you guys for watching. You guys are here. Don't go anywhere. I'm about to tell you the process. Oh, somebody went somewhere. Goodness gracious. Okay, I said don't go anywhere, and everybody went everywhere, but that's okay. The 2 people that are watching, don't go anywhere, and I will tell you step by step how you can receive some merchandise from Drink Talk Rock for absolutely nothing. I'm going to be giving out commemorative keychains for the show to everybody, and they are going to be free. You won't have to pay for them at all. I think they're going to have a bottle opener on them, and it's just going to say DTR on there. Just a little piece of memorabilia in case we get big. You might want it. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to explain. I have to say don't go anywhere a bunch because people, they go in, they go out, they go in, they go out. But you really want to be involved in this because it's the first little kind of merchandise we've got coming out. And I think that this show is going to soar. And so this is commemorative. This is a little piece of us that we want to give to you. So here's what you got to do to receive your free DTR keychain. First, I want you to search Drink Talk Rock on YouTube, not on Facebook, not on Google, not on anything. Go to YouTube and search Drink Talk Rock. Then I want you to like and subscribe to the page. Share it if you want to, but the requirements for the keychain are like and subscribe. If you are already subscribed to the page, you are already qualified, and therefore you only have to do the next step. The next step is to comment Drink Talk Rock rules, because we love our egos stroked here at Drink Talk Rock, and we like you to tell us how awesome we are and everything like that. No, it's just I was trying to think of what you guys could type in that would kind of help us out and also let me know for sure that you guys wanted to be included for the keychain. So go over this again. 1, search Drink Talk Rock on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the DTR channel. That's qualified for any video. I get notifications when you like and share or subscribe any video on YouTube. Comment on YouTube, Drink Talk Rock rules. Again, on any video. We have 5 episodes. This episode will be up tomorrow, the 6th episode. You can comment on that as well. Comment Drink Talk Rock rules. That's Drink Talk Rock rules on any one of our videos. Once I see that, I will heart the qualifying comments. Now, this is going to come down to the first 25. I have 25 keychains that I'm going to be giving away in 2 weeks' time. I have to get the order in and everything like that, but basically it's going to be DTR on it with a bottle opener so that you can always pop one open whenever we are doing the podcast, or I'm doing the podcast. Well, me and the voices in my head when we do the podcast, yeah, so we're going to have all the videos up. And again, I just want to say for anybody that's still watching, this is the process. Search Drink Talk Rock on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the DTR channel. Comment Drink Talk Rock rules on any video, and I will see it immediately. And I will heart the comments to let you know that you are qualified for one of the first 25 Drink Talk Rock keychains that will be given away. I want to thank you guys so much for watching today and listening to the Talk News. I'm going to give a few minutes for anybody who's watching. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about today? I'll stay on here for another 10 and 15 minutes. Let me know what you want to talk about today. If nothing, then we can go ahead and wrap this up. Like I said, I filled a lot of news stories into today, and I try to do that. I try to keep everybody current with the rock world or with what's going on. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching and stuff like that. Do you have any music questions? Do you have any questions about the Monkees? I can Google them real quick. Or do you want any further explanation on the Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley fight? I said I was cutting it off, but if you guys want to hear more about it, just let me know, and I will. So I'm going to give it 30 seconds. I'm just going to sit here and stare at you guys for a minute. Intently. Squinting. Drinking. Can you hear me gulp? I can hear me gulp in my headphones. Daniel Marshall, what's up, man? Glad to see you're watching. Okay, I can see that somebody else new had come in. I know I sound like a broken record. I will edit 2 or 3 of these explanations out on the final version, but I just want everybody to know that I am giving away 25 free Drink Talk Rock keychains to the first 25 people who go to the Drink Talk Rock YouTube channel and type Drink Talk Rock rules on any of the videos. I will put a heart next to those comments, letting you know that you have qualified as one of the first 25. It's only the first 25 people to do it. So you and anybody else who you think might want a free bottle opener, let them know, share this video, and let them know that I am giving away Drink Talk Rock keychains. And this is only the beginning. We're going to be doing giveaways all the time. I want to give away t-shirts. I want to give away hats. I want to give away my body to anybody who wants it. Whatever you want, baby. We want to keep you here, and we want to keep you rocking, and we always appreciate you guys sitting here and listening to me ramble. It's one of my favorite parts of the day, and the best part is we get to drink while we do it. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for watching Drink Talk Rock today. If you didn't catch it this time, that's fine. We're on every Monday at 5:30 p.m., right when you get off of work. I want to be the first ugly face you see on the internet. And let's have some beers. So thank you guys so much. You guys have a good one. Leave comments how your weekend went. I want to get as close to you as I possibly can. So you guys just let me know anything you want to know, anything you've got to say on your mind. I encourage everything in the world. And for the last time, thank you so much for watching Drink Talk Rock. You guys be safe. Always drink responsibly. Have a good night. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Drink Talk Rock YouTube channel. And we will see you next time.